George Shamoon. I want to welcome you to this live stream. This is about, like you see in a thumbnail, about an example of HTML, CSS, and I'm gonna demonstrate the transformation property and the hover effect when you do transformation. Like when you rotate the box, when you scale it, that's an element, you know. So I wrote the code. It's on my screen, and I want to make sure I don't take my time when I'm starting it from scratch. So what I did, I wrote it down in Visual Studio Code and made sure it works, because sometimes you're stuck on one letter and it doesn't work, and it's hard to find one letter, you know, or simple mistake. So I made sure it works. I want to show you what I'm talking about. So again, this is an HTML5 CSS3 example, and in this example I'm going to show you the hover effect and the transform effect of an element on a web page using the CSS styling and the HTML elements. And in this case, the element will be a box. So let's start. So first, as I mentioned before, I'm gonna use so I'm gonna be switching back and forth the screen. One time you're gonna see me face to face, and the other time you're gonna see the screen of my computer. So that's what you will see, the code here. So again, I mentioned I did one yesterday or a couple days ago, and I think if you were on this live stream, you should be familiar with that. You need an HTML file, that's the web page, and then you need the CSS file for style sheet that will style the element of the HTML. Okay, let's look at my screen now, on the computer screen, to show you the code I wrote, and I'm gonna explain it as I go line by line. I think this is the easiest. You can this way you can see it working, and it's not gonna be a problem, you know, when typing it. So this is the code here. First, I have the HTML file, which is this one here, HTML5 CS3 exit. This is the name of the file. It doesn't matter. You can give it any name. .html. And then you have the CSS file, which is this one, .css. So that's what you should have. And the name can change, but make sure you have the .html for the HTML file and the .css for the CSS file. So first, if you look at the HTML here, I have, if you look starting from the top, as I said yesterday, this is a boilerplate here. And what's the boilerplate? It's those codes that the system can help you enter them. You don't have to enter them line by line. All what you do is you enter exclamation mark, you find exclamation mark, and you hit enter. Once you hit the system will populate this section for you. And I think, no, just this one. And then you create the body tag, and then you have already the HTML tag. And then between the body tag, your code will live. The code you're creating is gonna live here. So, and what I made in this code is I made a box with ID box2, and this is the div here. And inside the box, I made a sentence, which is, I gave it, this is the sentence, this is a box2. And then I gave it an ID P2 so I can target it with the CSS file to style it. And also the box2, I styled it using the ID box2. So it's very simple web page, and let's go to the CSS file to show you how it's styled and how it's looked. Again, to see how your code looks, you can use, let me turn this 1 second. You can be using the live server. Again, the live server is an extension in Visual Studio Code. And once you open any of the file using the live server, it's gonna show on your local computer as if it were on the internet. So this way, when you type, when you create a code or you edit a code, you can see how it looks like on your computer screen instead of sending it to the internet, to your website or a web server somewhere on the internet, and then you see how you gonna see how it looks like. You're gonna be uploading it and changing it. So this is what the live server does, and let me show you how it looks like. Let me turn the screen. So this is the live server here. So if you click on the on this element here, you right click on it, and you hit this open with live server. It's gonna open a web page on your computer, and this is it right here. If you see it, that's how it looks like. Let me keep it on the screen. So this is the code I wrote, and I'm gonna show you what is it doing using the styling. So this is a box in HTML. Look at it. It's a box here, and there's a sentence in the middle, which is this is a box too. And then I used the styling sheet to style the box and the sentence. And I'm gonna show you in 1 second how the styling sheet looks like. So if you look here, so this is the HTML web page, and like I said, you don't have, you can show it on your, it displays on your computer using the live server. You don't have to upload it to the internet, to your website. Okay, so let's look at the, so basically in the HTML, we created a box 2, we gave it ID box 2, and we made a sentence inside the box, which is ID P2. So we can go now to the CSS. This is the style sheet. And one thing to remember, you have to link the style sheet, the HTML to the style sheet. And how you do it, you add this line here. Link rel equals style sheet. It's the same. It's gonna be the same on every web page. Type, then text dash CSS, and then href. This is the style sheet name, and this can change. It's the file with the .css here, and this is it right here, the one I created. And this is how you target, you style the elements on HTML. You can connect basically the CSS file to the HTML. Let's go to the CSS file to show you what are those colors and where they're coming from and why this is rotating when I hover over. So let's go to the CSS. So what's happened on the CSS? Let me just get this out of the way. This, okay. So like I said, the box, the yellow box, this is how I target it in CSS. And these are the declaration, and this is the property, and this is the value in CSS. So box 1, I want the color to be blue. Okay, so basically the font, I want the font to be blue. Whenever you add color, colon, and the color here, that will give you the color blue. This is why the sentence is blue if you look at it here. Now, the background is yellow, and if you look here, the background is yellow of the box. And then the height is 20% of the browser and width 20%. So, okay, so this is the height and the width. I think, let me change it to pixel, it's better. Let me make it 200 pixel. And let's make the width 400 pixel. Okay, so this is the size. The height is 200 pixel. It's this height here, and the width is 400. It's double. And then we have the margin. I gave it 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, and I don't think we need all those. We can remove some of these. I think if we remove couple, it will be the same. Okay, so that's will be the same. Okay, so the margin is the distance here from the top and the left browser here. And usually you can specify margin for the four sides, but this size is small. If it was big, then we'll need it. And then we can look at the paragraph, which is where it says, this is box 2. This is the paragraph. And if you look in CSS here, it's gonna be, I used the declaration where I aligned it in the middle. So I used text dash align is center. And this is why you see it centered. And then we did the font size to REM, which is 2 times the 16 pixel, the standard. And then the background color is this one, as you see it. It's right here. So, guys, if you have any questions, if you're tuning in on this live stream, I want to thank you. And make sure you submit your comments or questions if you're interested to know about what I'm doing on this code. What I'm doing is a coding exercise using HTML, CSS in Visual Studio Code. And what I'm doing, I'm going to show you the effect of the hover when you hover the mouse over the box and how it changes. And I'm gonna show you how it does the transform, like scale, rotate, and translate. If you have any questions, submit it in a comment and let me know where you're tuning in from if you show up on this live stream. So, and then if you look at the, now we're gonna look at the hover effect. So let me show you the hover effect on the screen. So I want the box, when I hover over it, to do something, and that's what is it gonna do. When this is what how you target the box and the hover effect. Box 2, and you add a colon, and then you add hover, and then whatever you declare here CSS declaration and the properties here between the braces, it's gonna take place once you hover over this box. So this is how you target it. This is how you make the box hover. When you hover over it, do those things. This is how you target it. You add box 2 using the pound because it's an ID, then colon, you hit the colon here, and then you add hover, and between the hover, and then what you tell in the system that when you hover the mouse over the box 2, you want it to execute those. And that will happen whenever you hover over the box. And what happens is the background color will become this color here, this one here. And originally it's yellow. We made it yellow on the top here in the origin. But once you hover, it's gonna change. And then what's gonna happen, it's gonna do the transform declaration, and I added the rotate, scale, and translate. What's nice about the transform declaration, you can give it values at the same time, the rotate, scale, and translate. So basically you can make the element, in this case the box, to rotate, and you assign how many degrees you want it. If it's a positive number, it's gonna rotate in the clockwise. If it's a negative number, it's gonna rotate in the counterclockwise. And then space, you add the scale, and between parentheses, you give it a number. If you want the box to get bigger, obviously you use numbers more than 1. If you want it to get smaller, you use numbers less than 1, fractions. And then translate, the translate will move it, translate X will move it along the X axis 100 pixels. Okay, so let me show you how what it does here. So this is the code here, and this is without doing the hover effect. And if I hover the mouse over this box, it's gonna rotate 40 degrees clockwise, not counterclockwise, and then it's gonna scale, it's gonna get bigger too, 2 times, and then it's gonna translate 10x, it's gonna move 10x to the right side, from the left edge of the screen. and then it's gonna change color. So let me move the mouse over it to show you. So this is the original shape here, and this is what happens when I hover over the box. So basically, it did the rotate, it did the translation, it moved, and it scaled 2 times, so it's bigger, 2 times bigger, you know. This is the importance of hover effect in CSS. And you can do this with JavaScript, but JavaScript is overqualified for this option. If all what you want to do, you want to rotate or hover over an element and do what I did now, scale it and translate it. So this is how to use the hover effect and also the transform effect. Basically, the transform is a declaration, but what's nice about it, you can use in the same declaration, you can give it 3 values. You can give it the rotate to make the element rotate clockwise or counterclockwise. And you can give it, make it scaled, like scale it 2 times if you want it, or more if you want to make it bigger when you hover over it. And if you use a fraction of 1, then it will shrink when you hover over it. And also you can use the translate X in this case, and you can use X, Y, or Z, and you give it a pixel or a number, and then it will move once it rotates. Once you do the hover effect. So it's not that difficult. It's uh, it's very useful, and this will show you the hover effect of a mouse. So if you have any questions, please submit them in a comment. And I want to thank you if you're tuning in on this live stream or you're watching it in the future. Let me know if you have any questions. Submit it in a comment, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're interested in topics like these, making codes using HTML, CSS, and using Visual Studio Code to create those codes, making edits, and also to create, if you're interested in topics about other software I use myself, like making simple websites, web pages, and using Inkscape for making vector graphics, and other software like Linux, how to use the Linux command. I have so many tutorials and videos on my channel. I have over 200. So if you're interested in any of those topics, make sure you watch it and let me know if you have any questions or any comments, and give me an idea about what you like to know about or learn about next time I make a video. So if you have any questions, yeah, let me know. Submit it in the comments now. And so again, if you're tuning in on this live stream, I want to thank you. And we're talking about the hover effect of a mouse over an element in HTML and CSS, and how to style it in CSS, and how to declare elements and properties and values inside the hover effect when you do the hover effect. And in this case, I showed you how the color changes of the box, how it rotated, how it expanded the size, and how it changed the color, and how it moved along the x-axis from the left side of the browser. So if you have any questions, please submit them in a comment, and make sure you let me know where you're tuning in from if you're on this live stream. And if you're on a replay, also make sure you submit your comments or questions about this exercise, and let me know what you're interested to know about. And you can also contact me directly using this website. This is my website. You can go there and contact me using the contact form on the website. So and if you have any questions, please submit them in a comment so I can answer now on this live stream. Again, my name is George Shamon. I want to thank you so much for tuning in, whether you're on this live stream or in a future on a replay. Make sure you submit your comments and let me know what if you have any questions about this video presentation or the other ones, you know. So who else have a question on this live stream about this exercise? Again, we're talking about, if you read the top comment, this is example 2 in HTML CSS, where I demonstrate using the hover effect of a mouse using the transform property to scale, rotate, and transition an element on a web page. So this is the topic of the subject. Please let me know if you have any questions, and if you're on this live stream, let me know if you have any questions or any comments, any topics you want to discuss. And let me know where you're tuning in from if you're on this live stream now. Or even if you're on a replay, let me know. I'm very interested to know. So, all right, it looks like there's no more questions. I guess I'm gonna wrap up this live stream. If you have any questions, you can still add them in the comments, in the comment box, and we can talk about it in the future. I can answer you even if you are on a replay. And let me know if you have any specific topics you want me to discuss, or you have any question about any tutorials on my channel. I have about over 200 tutorials traversing different topics from making videos, websites, coding, HTML, CSS, and also using Inkscape to make vector graphics. So again, my name is George Shamon. I want to thank you so much for tuning in and for your attention.